If you watch shows like First Take, Undisputed, or any sports talk show, they always refer to stuff like the clutch gene, the killer mentality, and just these vague terms. They don't really describe what it means to be a clutch time player. And when they talk about clutch, they're usually discussing Kobe, LeBron, or Jordan in some order. So I think this video, it's more of an informative video to give you guys the facts so you can decide who is the best clutch time player out of those three guys. I'm not going to give my personal opinion to the very end of the video. So from here on out, it's going to be just straight facts of how good these players were in clutch time plays or clutch time games. And to start out, we're going to look at Game 7 performances. Now in Game 7s, LeBron averaged 34.9 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, and 5.6 assists. Kobe averages 22.2 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Jordan averages 33.7 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, and 7 assists. LeBron's teams have a 6-2 record in Game 7s, Kobe's have a 5-1 record, and Jordan's have a 2-1 record. Also, a very important thing to gauge how clutch a player is in a big-time game is how they perform in the final game of a series. Now, for LeBron James, his stats are the same as in Game 7s, but for Kobe and Jordan, they do change slightly. Kobe averages 21.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, and 5.1 assists. Jordan averages 36.8 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.6 assists. And just to clarify, the final game of a series, that is a Game 7 in the playoffs or a Game 5 in the first round, because the first round, it used to be Game 5s for all of Jordan's career and part of Kobe's. So I think it's important to include those games to show how they played in the final game of a series. Now, another important thing to include is how these players performed in elimination games. LeBron James averaged 34.1 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, shooting 48.8% from the field. Kobe averages 22.3 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and shoots 44% from the field. Jordan averages 31 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 7 assists, while shooting 44.5%. LeBron's teams in elimination games, they have the best record with 14-9, Kobe's have second best with 9-8, and Jordan's are third best with a 6-9 record. So I think it gives a pretty good indication of how these players played in big-time clutch games, but if you want to get more specific and really narrow down what it means to be clutch, I think you could look at fourth quarter playoff scoring averages. And the data for those averages, it only goes back to 1997, so Jordan's prime, it is not included, and there's only 2 seasons available, that being the 97 season and the 98 season. So to be fair to Jordan, I included both Kobe and LeBron's 2 best scoring fourth quarter playoffs. And here's what the results were. Jordan 97, he averaged 9.6 points per game, shot 49.3% from the field, 18.2% from 3, and 84% from the line. In 98, he averaged 9.4 points per game, 44.6% from the field, 14.2% from 3, and 78.8% from the free throw line. Now for Kobe, his 2 best fourth quarter playoff scoring averages, it was 2002 and 2008. And in 2002, he averaged 8.1 points per game, shot 49.1% from the field, 50% from 3, and 80% from the line. In 08, he averaged 9.5 points per game, shot 45% from the field, 41.9% from 3, and 82.9% from the free throw line. LeBron's highest scoring playoff averages, it was in 2007 and 2015. In 07, he averaged 8.8 points per game, shot 45.6% from the field, 35.4% from 3, and 73.8% from the line. In 2015, he averaged 8.6 points per game, shot 39.7% from the field, 30% from 3, and 78% from the free throw line. And if you look at which player had the most fourth quarter points in a playoff run, here's how it ranks. Kobe is number 1 with 199 points in 2008. Jordan is number 2 with 188 in 1998. Jordan is also number 3 with 182 in 1997. LeBron is in 4th with 175 in 2007. And LeBron is also in 5th with 174 in 2018. And next up, we're going to look at playoff clutch stats. And if you didn't know, the NBA defines clutch stats as the last 5 minutes of game within 5 points. So for that, I'm going to use that criteria to show you guys the clutch stats for Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. And once again, there's only 2 years available for Jordan, so I used Kobe and LeBron, their highest scoring averages for their clutch stats. Now for Jordan, in 97, he averaged 5.0 points per game, 51.3% from the field, 25% from 3, and 82.4% from the line. In 98, he averaged 5.4 points per game, 44.0% from the field, 16.6% from 3, and 85.3% from the line. Kobe's two best years were 03 and 09. In 03, he averaged 4.8 points per game, 23.1% from the field, 25% from 3, and 85% from the line. In 09, he averaged 4.7 points per game, 41.2% from the field, 25% from 3, and 81% from the line. LeBron's two best years were 06 and 2018. In 06, he averaged 5.5 points per game, 50% from the field, 14.3% from 3, and 82.7% from the line. In 2018, he averaged 4.7 points per game, 50% from the field, 44.4% from 3, and 72.2% from the free throw line. And if you look at which player had the most clutch time points in a playoff run, at number 1 you have Jordan with 76, at number 2 you have Jordan LeBron tied with 55, at number 4 you have Kobe with 51, and in 5th place you have LeBron again with 49. So I think playoff clutch stats and fourth quarter scoring is a very, very good indication of how good a clutch time performer a player is. But if you want to look at who is the best clutch performer on the biggest stage, I think you would look at two different things. And the first thing is fourth quarter final stats. Now the same thing applies. There's only 2 years available for Jordan, and I took Kobe and LeBron's two best fourth quarter stats. Now in 97, Jordan averaged 10.7 points per game, 49% from the field, 33% from 3, and 62.5% from the line. In 98, he averaged 10.6 points per game, 39% from the field, 0% from 3, and 82.7% from the free throw line. Kobe's two best finals, it was 2002 and 04. In 02, he averaged 8.3 points per game, 63.2% from the field, 75% from 3, and 66.7% from the line. In 04, he averaged 7.8 points per game, 42.4% from the field, 16.7% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. LeBron's two best finals was 07 and 2015. In 07, he averaged 9.8 points per game, 45.2% from the field, 33% from 3, and 87.5% from the line. In 2015, LeBron averaged 10.2 points per game, 40.4% from the field, 50% from 3, and 75% from the line. And if you want to look at which player had the most total fourth quarter points in a final series, here's how it would rank. Number 1 is Jordan in 1998 with 30. Number 2 is also Jordan in 1997 with 23. Number 3 is Kobe in 2009 with 20. Number 4 is LeBron in 2015 with 17. And number 5 is Kobe in 2008 with 15. And next up, we're going to look at clutch time stats in the NBA Finals. And once again, clutch time stats, they're the last 5 minutes of game with a score within 5 points. Now for this, I actually did go back and watch every single game of Jordan in the finals, and I recorded his data. And on your screen right now, you see the breakdown of Jordan's scoring by all the 6 finals, and in total, he had 126 clutch time points in the finals while shooting 46.9% from the field. Now, if you compare that to Kobe, he had 78 clutch time points while shooting 45.2% from the field in 7 NBA Finals appearances. LeBron James, 9 Finals appearances, he had 76 clutch time points while shooting 30.8% from the field. So again, a very good indication of how these players play on the big stage. And if you want to take a step further and look at which player had the most clutch time points in a final series, here's how it would rank. Number 1 is Jordan with 38 points in 1993. Number 2 is also Jordan with 30 points in 1998. Number 3 again is Jordan with 23 points in 1997. Number 4 is Kobe with 20 points in 2009. Number 5 is LeBron with 17 points in 2015. And the last thing we're going to take a look at is game tying or go-ahead shots in the playoffs. I'm going to break it down by 24 seconds, 10 seconds, and 5 seconds. Now, for Jordan with game-tying go-ahead shots in the final 24 seconds, he shot 9 for 18, LeBron shot 10 for 27, and Kobe shot 7 for 28. With 10 seconds remaining, Jordan shot 7 for 15 on go-ahead shots, LeBron James shot 9 for 22, and Kobe shot 5 for 22. And when you look at the last 5 seconds, Jordan shot 5 for 11, LeBron was 7 for 17, and Kobe was 4 for 18. So that is the last group of stats I have for you guys to make your own educated decision. And I know it was a lot of stats, just me reading them off, and it wasn't very exciting, but I think this video is definitely necessary to get all the facts out there and the accurate information so you guys can make your own decision about who is the most clutch player out of Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron. And right now, I'm going to warn you, this is my time to give my own opinion. This is based on the data that I showed you guys in this video. And in my opinion, I think Jordan, he is more clutch than Kobe and LeBron. That's not saying LeBron and Kobe, they aren't clutch, but I definitely think those two players, they show up in the big games, and they definitely hit some big shots over their careers. I think Jordan, across the board, he was either first or second in most categories, and he didn't really have a major category where he lacked and really didn't show up and perform well. I think if you look at the numbers and break it down, Jordan, he definitely came out on top on most of those categories. And if he wasn't first, he definitely was a very close second. And when you're talking about three players who are three top 10 players of all time, you are really splitting hairs when talking about who is the most clutch player. So that really is the end of the video. That was my opinion. But the first 75% of the video, that is all facts, all data. You guys can use that in debates. Make sure to screenshot the pictures. Share this video to anyone who has any kind of interest in these debates between LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan. I think it's a very interesting topic, and I think it was very important to get all the facts and data out there. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, and if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so. But besides that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.